Hi there, meteorologist Kit Thomas. We're back on air or on our live stream this afternoon as we are talking about some very cold conditions expected around the area over the next few days. It's going to be very frigid. Wind chills are going to be down below freezing, well below freezing, even into the single digits. So all of this to say it's going to be downright cold. Let's take a look around the area though. As we look out towards the flyover, one good thing to keep in mind is as we've got this cold air coming in, we're not going to be really seeing any chance for precipitation, so the roads will stay clear while we have this cold air coming in. Looking out at Clark Tower, though, you can tell by the top of the building, the flag up there showing up with some winds coming out of the north as well. And over downtown, everything is looking nice and peaceful today. So as we take a look at the forecast or the current conditions around the area right now, we're looking at temperatures in the 40s and 50s as well. So it is definitely a nice day today. We got up to around 63 degrees for our high today. As we take a look at the almanac numbers, we saw those temperatures getting up to around 63 for that high, 43 for the low. And so then we're looking at those temperatures that are going to be a little bit above average this afternoon. So it was nice and warm. We're not going to be that warm for at least 5 to 6 days, maybe middle of next week. We've got another chance of seeing those temperatures get that warm again. Right now, though, we're at 48 here in Memphis, 42 up towards Dyersburg, 50 in Clarksdale, so still a little bit warmer out there. And of course, it's a bit of a change from yesterday. We had those temperatures yesterday a little cooler. We've had these big swings in temperatures for the last week, really. And that's been really difficult to forecast. The models have been doing a really poor job at it. And I always aim for 3 degrees accuracy, and it has been very difficult to keep that up this last week. But overall, the next weather impact is fairly certain. If we're going to looking at those temperatures dropping down very quickly through the weekend, we've got another cold front on the way, sort of reinforcing one that came in today. And weirdly enough, the cold front that came in today compressed the air ahead of it, and that's how we jumped up into the low to mid 60s around the area. So some clouds are coming in through the weekend, but we're going to remain dry. That's good. That means we're not going to have any issue on the roads with this cold air. It's just going to be cold and bitter cold at that. We're looking at single-digit wind chills as we go into the weekend. So as we look overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's when the real drop happens. Wind chills are going to drop into the single digits all the way into northern Mississippi, northwest Tennessee. Some areas might be getting close to 0 for that wind chill. So absolutely cold. This is the kind of cold that starts to get on the more hazardous side. So if you're going to be outside for an extended period, if you have to for work or for whatever you're doing, make sure you're bundling up. Make sure you've got those hand warmers in your gloves as well so you can keep your hands warm. Wear earmuffs as well because your ears can get frostbite pretty quickly with these kinds of wind chills, so keep that in mind as well. Frostbite doesn't set in for anywhere less than a half hour, so if you're only outside for a short time, you'll be fine. You'll be cold, but you'll be fine. Wind chill into the afternoon, though, it doesn't improve much, only into the teens. The highs are going to be in the 20s, but it's still going to be breezy. And what the wind chill is basically the warm air that you heat up from the radiation from your body, just that thermal heat you radiate. That gets blown away from you when we have a wind chill, and it exposes you back to that cold air again. So it's similar to heat index in that it's a human-centric index there. But the good news is Monday night, we see a quick dip into the single digits again, but by the morning, the winds should ease back as we start to switch more from a north wind to a south wind. And so that'll help us warm up into the afternoon. It's not going to be much of an issue into the afternoon. Still colder than the air temperature with that wind, but we'll be back above freezing for the first time in over 36 hours. So very cold indeed. Here's the cold weather safety tips, the 4 Ps we like to call them: people, plants, pets, and pipes. Your plants are already dead. My plants are already dead, except for like some parsley, which is cold hardy, but everything else, you don't have to worry about those. What you need to keep in mind are your pets. If you have outdoor pets, make sure you bring them inside. This is too cold for them. Really anything but a husky. You're not going to have a good time with the pets outside in this kind of cold. Pets or pipes as well. If you have pipes that are not insulated well in the exterior walls of your house, you'll want to open up the cabinets, like your kitchen cabinet, your bathroom cabinet, open up, keep the pipes with warm air circulating around them, and also keeping just a small trickle, just a quick drip of water out of your pipes to keep that water moving through. That'll prevent them from freezing solid. So you don't want to have frozen pipes. If you do have pipes that freeze, if that does happen, don't try and actively thaw them, because that could mess them up a little bit. Even my landlord sent us an email and said, don't try and actively thaw them, let them naturally thaw if they do freeze. And of course, people, we need to stay warm as well. So if you're going to be outside, wear multiple layers. So here's the setup right now. We had a cold front that came through today. It's to our south now. It was a very weak front, but I like to call these sort of primer fronts. They come in, they knock our temperatures back a little bit, and they get the flow coming out of the north. We were looking at Clark Tower. The flag is blowing to the south, so we've got a north wind right now. The Arctic front is coming in behind that. That's what's going to be the deep, cold weather that we're expecting. We're going to see temperatures below zero well to our north, but our wind chills are going to be down above zero, still the single digits. So let's look at the long-range model, because there's a couple of interesting parts of the forecast. To our south, a little bit of rain. To our north, a little bit of snow, but really nothing really coming down here across the mid-south. So that's good for us. I would like to see snow, but can't win them all. We're looking at the forecast Sunday morning. We've got that north wind already in, and only a few clouds here and there. So it will look like it feels nice outside, but it will feel very, very cold. By Tuesday, we're seeing a few more clouds starting to come out of the Gulf, and that'll bring some light moisture on Wednesday, maybe an isolated chance for a sprinkle. It's not going to be much of an impact there. But Thursday, we'll see more rain. Now, you may think, since we're already cold, is there any chance of this being frozen? It's actually going to warm up very quickly for us. So that's going to be some good news. We'll see that continue through Thursday, and it should end by Thursday evening. So just to recap, tonight, a low of around 35. It's not going to be bad. It is cold, but not bad, not far off from average. Tomorrow, the high for 54 is right around normal for this time of year, but those winds are still out of the northeast. Remember, that primer front brought those winds out of the north. Now we're going to see the cold air come in Saturday night. As that happens, it's going to bring our low down to around 20 degrees, a high of only 28, and a low on Monday morning at 16. Again, we don't get back above freezing. We're going to be below freezing from somewhere around the middle of the night, Saturday night into Sunday morning, all the way through Monday early afternoon. So more than 36 hours of freezing conditions. That's why we're more concerned about pipes than the previous times where we've just had a morning below freezing. So hopefully you are ready for this. This is pretty typical for this time of year. This is when we start to see these Arctic air masses sliding to the south beyond just this week into next week. As we look at the 6 to 10 day outlook here, it's looking like we get back up. Like we see where we've got the 50s and 60s coming back. It looks like we've got some decent chance of some warmer temperatures as we head into next week. It's going to be much nicer. And then as we look all the way out to the week there, right before up to the day after Christmas, it's going to be much warmer. We've got very high confidence. This isn't necessarily a scale of how far above average, but it's the confidence of above or below average. We're very, very confident that we're going to be above normal, which at that point is in the low to mid 50s. So it looks like it's going to be nice and mild for Christmas. No chance for a white Christmas this year. As far as the precipitation around that time frame, are we going to see any rain at all? It's possible, but it looks like we're below average for most of the southeast. So we might see a stray shower or two that week, but it's not going to be anything that's any big, massive rainstorm that's going to delay any plans. So one more look at that 7-day forecast. Remember, those wind chills are going to be cold. Stay warm. Make sure your pets are safe as well. You always want to keep them in mind during these cold outbreaks as well. So we're going to wrap things up here. I do appreciate you joining us. We're going to be live back here at 9 and 10, 9 o'clock on air at the CW, 10 o'clock on ABC 24 as well. So keep that in mind. We'll have more details on that forecast, and we'll see you back here later on tonight. Have a good one.